Hello, it's me Austin, and if you're new to my channel, I am a designer with a passion for fashion and wardrobe arts. Earlier in this series, I made the Royal Navy sword, the epaulettes, the iconic St. Edward's crown, and the many ornaments and royal badges for my British King costume. Now, in this series finale, I'll show you how I made the uniform itself, and in the end, I will get to assemble everything together for the ultimate reveal. You might be wondering why I decided to model my king costume after this military-style uniform. I was inspired by this famous state portrait of King George V. This has to be my most favorite portrait of any historic royal figure. The king looked regal, masculine, and heroic. He wore a military uniform, which I personally think looks much cooler than the tunic, which is what other kings chose to wear for their coronation portrait. The portrait led me to discover similar uniforms worn by other royals like Prince Philip, George VI, Tsar Nicholas II, as well as portrayals in The Crown and The King's Speech. The uniform design has gone through many changes throughout the past 3 centuries, where it developed into the current version of today. These uniforms symbolize service to the crown. Many British kings and princes, having served in the military, also wear the uniform at ceremonial events and formal occasions. While there are many categories and subcategories of the uniform, for this project I've drawn inspiration from these 2 uniforms, the ceremonial day dress and the number 1 dress. I decided to go with the number 1 dress as the foundation for my design, as I find it to be more modern and fashionable. But I have to admit, it's also because it's a more common silhouette, so I can just buy a 2-piece suit off the rack and not have to sew the whole garment from scratch. I am not that talented, but hopefully I will get to that point one day. I have certain elements that I want my costume to feature. First, gotta have the red tie. It's regal and it's classic. Next, gold decorated buttons. And 3 gold stripes on the sleeve cuffs, something you've likely seen many times before on Navy military and pilot uniforms. A very crucial feature is the epaulettes, which I showed you back in episode 4 of the Regalia series. Originally, I had a red velvet cape in my design, but as Edna Moe would say, no capes! So you won't see it in the final review. Another essential element is the sword belt. You can't call it a royal king costume without this bad boy. I need to add drape chains on the left shoulder of this suit. These are called aiguillettes. For a modern and glamorous twist, I decided to make them out of metal Cuban chains instead of the traditional cord. The finishing touch, the ornaments I made in episode 3 to tie the whole look together. As for a royal blue sash, I considered it, but ultimately decided to leave it out of the design, so no sash. I kicked things off by trying on a double-breasted 2-piece suit I bought off the rack, and if you're interested, it's a blend of 45% wool, 25% cotton, and 30% polyester. The fit is pretty solid, so I'm ready to dive into the making, the embellishment. But before doing anything fancy to the suit jacket, I need to prep it. With an iron and a steam iron, I smooth out any creases. Next, let's replace the original buttons with these gorgeous gold decorative ones. After removing the original button, I marked the exact spot so I could remember where the new one would go. Then, using a needle and gold-colored thread, I sewed on the chain button. These are 28mm chain buttons with a British Royal coat of arms style in the design, and even a crown on top. It's so cute! I used the chain button sewing method for this. It involves threading the needle through the button shank, then wrapping the thread around the shank several times before tightening. This secures the button firmly in place while allowing it to sit neatly on the fabric. Honestly, I learned this technique by watching a few YouTube videos, and I think they explain it way better than I do, so check them out. But only after you've done watching this video. I used the same method for the smaller buttons on the sleeve cuffs, swapping them out for 15mm golden chain buttons to match the ones on the front. After quick fitting to check the new button placements and trying it on with a belt, I wasn't entirely happy. The 3 rows looked a bit lackluster, so the next day, I decided to start over and switch to a 4-row button pattern to better match the vibe of the number 1 dress. This meant adding a full row of buttons. Much better. Next, I moved on to creating the 3 gold stripes on the cuffs of the sleeves. I am going to make a band that I will hand sew onto the cuff, and if I want to remove the 3 stripe altogether, I can just detach it from the sleeve. And so to start, I cut out a band from the same fabric as the suit. It is 4 cm in width, and the length should match the circumference of the cuff, with a little extra excess. And of course, I didn't forget to leave space for the seam allowance. After that, I pressed the seam allowance crisp and flat. To achieve the 3-stripe look, I glued a strip of gold ribbon onto the band using E6000 glue. I used a small syringe to apply the glue precisely and mess-free. I gave the band a press for a clean finish. I then lined the start of the band with the seam line on the sleeve. After pinning the band in place, I sewed it onto the cuff by hand. And I think it turned out quite lovely. I started making the sword belt today. I bought a cheap fabric belt from AliExpress and threw away the buckle. I covered the entire belt with the same fabric as the suit. No fancy sewing techniques here. Hot gluing is your best friend for this one. The belt, as seen on the ceremonial day dress worn by kings and princes, features this beautiful ornate leaf embroidery. I found this press-on lace from AliExpress that kind of matched the vibe, but honestly it looked too cheap for me, specifically the color, so I decided to go with the 3 gold stripe design instead, as seen on this version of the belt. The same method I used for the cuff bands applied here. I got bored with making the belt, so I moved on to the more fun step, which is decorating the suit with gold aiguillettes. For this process, it's essential to put the suit on a dress form, as I want to control how the chain will drape on the uniform. One by one, I attached 4 strands of the gold-plated Cuban chain to the badge, draping them across the suit and adjusting them so I can get the right look. I temporarily pinned the end of each strand to this safety pin, where the left epaulette will sit over. Once I was happy with how the whole thing looked, I secured the ends of the whole aiguillette with a safety pin. so I could remove it off of the dress form and bring it to my desk. For the first end, I connected the 5 chains together with a gold jump ring and attached this to the badge. On the other end, I did the same but left out the final, which is the longest chain, attaching the jump ring to a lobster clasp. I then attached the end of the final chain to another lobster clasp. And then I went back to the dress form. I attached the first lobster clasp to the safety pin where the epaulette will sit over, and the other lobster clasp to a safety pin where the epaulette will clip onto. Finally, I pinned the badge onto the lapel, and the aiguillettes are completed. The final element left to tackle is the sword belt I started earlier but got bored with, remember? I started off with threading the belt through the belt loop of the buckle I 3D printed. It hadn't been gold gilded yet, but you can see how I did that in episode 3. I temporarily fixed the belt in place with a hair clip, and then place it onto the dress form. Next, I pinned these 2 straps, which are called hangers, to where I wanted the royal sword to hang from the belt. If you're interested, check out episode 1 of the series to see how I made this Royal Navy sword. Before I even move on to the making process, I need to run you through the anatomy of the sword belt, otherwise this whole thing would be so confusing. In this photograph, you can see a shorter strap at the front and a longer one at the back. In this other photograph, which I was so glad to find, as it clearly shows how the hangers are attached to the belt on the inside. The front hanger is fixed, while the back one attaches to another leather strap inside the belt, which I assume would allow it to slide freely for positioning. To achieve this, I got this black leather handbag strap on AliExpress, and it has a golden clip at the end, which was perfect because I can clip it onto the hoops of the sword scabbard. I cut the straps to the desired length, and pretty much the rest of this footage is just me sewing multiple segments of the strap into the belt to achieve the mechanism I just mentioned. I punched holes into the leather so I could run the needle through, and I believe they call this pricking in leathercraft. For the rest of the video, you have to excuse me for oversimplifying things. What? As if you haven't already throughout this entire video? This is the final day of making not just this belt, but the entire regalia, the costume, the crown, the ornaments, the sword, etc. So as you can imagine, I was burnt out and exhausted. And at this point, I was basically on autopilot mode. So there was no clear plan or strategy here. So I don't really have much to say about this process. And on top of that, my flight to New Zealand was in 2 days, so I was so stressed out. I know this is a cheap cap out, but I hope the footage speaks for itself. Oh my gosh, the sword belt is finally done. I thought I'll be working on this thing forever. No more sword-related nightmares. And with all the components ready, I could finally assemble the whole ensemble together. Starting with the epaulettes I made in episode 4, the medals from episode 3, the aiguillette tips, that goddamn sword belt, and the cherry on top, the 3D printed Order of the Garter from episode 3. And now, I present to you the last piece of the Regalia series, my modern design of the British King uniform. And that's a wrap on this long and incredible journey. And don't forget to hit that bell button so you won't miss the next project I've got coming for you, and it's a good one. And until then, goodbye and I'll see you soon. Cheers!
Mm.